I've been leading these opens for a while. I think it's your turn.
People don't want to hear what I have to say when it comes to this 2 minutes that you are allowed to just be 110% Zeke Baker.
Looky here now, damn it. I'm not allowed. I take it because it's mine. And I'm offering it to you as a generosity out of
No, let's be honest.
Soul.
Let's be honest. Let's tell a little DDB history right here. For the longest time, I'm like, Zeke, you should say something in the beginning. And you go, I don't know, man. Why am I always doing this? Like, do we have to do this before every single show? And I'm like, Zeke, the people want you.
Well, you used to catch me overly sober.
As we've done this more and more, the people really just say Zeke Baker is the cold open king, and they want to hear what you have to say here. Give me something your daddy told you, like a piece of advice that you would always keep with you for the rest of your life.
The 7 Ps. This didn't come from my father. I learned this from the Scouts. Laugh it up if you want. I am an Eagle Scout. I am 100% proud of it. But the 7 Ps. Prior planning prevents pitifully piss-poor performance. Know it, learn it, live by it. You'll succeed in life. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, and with me virtually is Zeke Baker, but together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. How the hell are you, Zeke Baker?
You know, we're just quarantined like everybody else. We'll say simple plug that we don't get paid for. Did put out a quarantine song under his pseudonym of Bobby Shazam.
Bobby put out a quarantine song?
It's called Quarantine. It's very 80s rap-ish. Big time Bobby. The one that put me in a music video.
So we're talking about Kid Rock.
Bobby. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, clearly you don't know.
I don't know.
Clearly.
I just know Ba with the Ba.
Well, he and I are born the same day, by the way.
Really? Not the same year?
No. He's got me by about 10. Ben Franklin, Drew Carey, Betty White, I think. Literally, look up 117. Like, it is a huge day for good people to be born on. Who do you share your birthday with, Big Cat?
I thought it was Hugh Hefner. I
don't know. Oh, shit's getting deep, people. You should sign offline now.
Let me see. Oh, Little Nas X.
Little Nas X, huh? That's the best you got.
Hugh Hefner's a pretty good person to share with. Dennis Quaid, Marc Jacobs, the fashion designer. Now there's people up here when you look, it's like TikTok star. I don't understand.
No, we're not going TikTok. That's that MSP stuff. No way, no how. 8-year-olds, dude. 8-year-olds.
Like, that's the problem is you look at who has the same birthday as you, and it's like, this TikTok star shares your same birthday. Kristen Stewart, Little Nas X, Leighton Meester, Elle Fanning, Jesse McCartney, Hugh Hefner.
I mean, granted, there's some extra years involved. Who's had the better and wilder stories, Bobby or Hugh?
I mean, I think it's easy enough to say Hugh.
No way.
If you think about all the stuff that happened at the Playboy Mansion, and Kid Rock would go to, like, Hugh just had to stay put and people would come to him and cause shenanigans. Like, he didn't have to go anywhere. Bobby had to put in effort.
I don't think he did.
I don't know.
Bobby, 110%, son.
Well, speaking of being quarantined, now is the time you want your liquor shipped directly to your door. And that's what our friends at Cask Cartel can do for you. They are changing the industry standard as to how you receive your alcohol. Now more than ever, you want a convenience play. Let caskcartel.com ship your liquor directly to your door. They have whiskey, bourbon, vodka, gin, rum, tequila, whatever it is, they have it. Check them out. Also follow them on Cask Cartel on Instagram. They're always doing awesome giveaways. They just gave away Blanton's Gold. They'll probably be doing something else soon because they are always doing a giveaway. Check our friends out, caskcartel.com and Cask Cartel on Instagram. Now, Zeke, speaking of friends, there's a few people that we got to meet, our friends Trey and Summer that own Junction 35 Spirits in Pigeon Forge, and they were putting this thing together. Man, I wanted to say they wanted to open in October and then November. I mean, we were hoping they were going to be ready before Grains and Grits and I was going to get to see them. We got out there, both of us, not together, but we got out there and spent some time while they were still building up the distillery. So we got to meet Trey and Summer, and kitchen that they're doing at this place. The restaurant side of it is just crazy. It's in this awesome location. It's like the adult side of what's the thing in Pigeon Forge that's the amusement park? You took the kids there.
I mean, all of Pigeon Forge is an amusement park.
It's on the other side. There's a big kids amusement park in Pigeon Forge, and then there's like the adult side, and that's where Junction 35 is. It's across the street.
Well, there's that island area.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's the island, and then on the other side
The
of
island
the
has some shops and attractions for kids of, basically all ages to ride, play on, etc.
And on the other side, they have an ice rink and one of those towers that goes really high in the air. And right next to that tower that goes really high in the air is Junction 35 Spirits. They have a kitchen and bar, distillery. They have this sweet stainless steel still, and it's a Detroit Metal Works.
Well, it's coincidental because who else is from Detroit? Big time Bobby. I like where this show's heading already, clearly.
It's Detroit Steelworks. That's what it is.
I couldn't remember either. I was back there in October. We were the family and got a chance to break away during nap time when the kids were down one of the days and caught up with Trey. Couldn't say enough nice things. He took the time out of the day. He actually had the baby with him. And he, even with the baby, took the time to show me out the still, the process, where everything else was going, the bar space they were creating, which really looked great for the area and the space. We talked about white spirits and those being a necessary evil not evil, but they keep the lights on. Like, I would strongly encourage anybody that's getting into the game. Like, if you don't have white spirits, I don't think you're going to make it, just to be honest. But they had that going. We talked about the bar. We talked about favorite cocktails. As John mentioned, the space out in front, the bar and distillery, etc. It's just all encompassing. You can go there, or could go there, bring the fam, great food, good drinks, entertainment for everyone. And when you picture family friendly, this is it to me. It's almost the Dave and Buster's of a distillery. Yeah, you'll spend some money, but that's what it's there for. Like, we all work for those reasons.
It's super cool just what they were able to do. A bunch of work went in there. One of the reasons it got delayed a little bit is just the sheer size of what they were trying to do. That is not a small space. They wanted to have music there. There are live bands that play. They wanted good food. I still want to go back and try the food. I can't tell you if the food's good or not yet, but I could tell you I was looking at the menu.
Yeah, no, and the way I remember it, there was almost 2 to 3 sides of the bar and restaurant space. It just looked like a great time.
Well, let's talk about the whiskey because admittedly, I've had this for a few months and I feel bad we haven't got to it yet. They have
months. I didn't know you were sitting on it that long. Damn, son.
Yeah, you've known. I mean, it was in the back there. We just haven't got around to it. So I feel bad, Trey and Summer, that we didn't get to this sooner. Now, they have a cinnamon whiskey. They have a honey whiskey. They have a gin. They have a vodka. I think they might even have a rum too. Who knows? But they have a lot of different spirits there. They have a wheated bourbon and a rye as well. So this bourbon is going to come in at 90 proof, and it is going to be over 2 years old. Aged no less than 2 years, distilled from 51% corn, 45% wheat, 4% malted barley. It's 90 proof, 45 ABV. And this rye that we're going to get to is a 3-year-old 95.5 rye. So Zeke, what do you think about the bourbon first?
So you may not know this about me, John. One of my favorite things to do, especially with the kids, is the fact there's usually some random cereals in the house. So in the morning, I like to blend 2 or 3 cereals together and, kind of see where it leads to or what develops. I get bored. What can I say? Nosing and initially tasting this, I go somewhere between Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops.
I just found some peanut butter Cheerios that are freaking awesome.
They make those?
Yeah, it's like peanut butter chocolate Cheerios, but it's not. They're still whole wheat, so you don't feel like you're having those like Reese's Puffs.
John, there's nothing that involves chocolate and peanut butter that is healthy-ish. I mean, keep fooling yourself there, big cat.
I looked. There's not a whole bunch of sugar. It's not as bad as the Reese's Puff ones.
Carbs.
I mean, cereal's not the best for you. I do Greek yogurt, but during this whole pandemic, I've been...
Hate for the sidebar, but during the pandemic, I've admittedly been watching a lot of like back episodes of Entourage. I feel like you're having a Johnny Drama moment. Like, what, man? I eat Greek yogurt every morning. Look at me. I'm working out, man. I'm fit. Like, what are you trying to say right now? You don't eat your Greek yogurt? Like, look at me. I'm fit.
I do eat Greek yogurt, but I split one with my daughter. She doesn't like the fruit part, so she just likes the other part. And so I have to have the part that has all the fruit, and then she has the other half.
How are your calves?
Big.
Drama would be jealous of your calves, actually.
Well, I was a lineman. Of course I got big legs.
Like, you remember that series of shows? There was like 3 or 4 where he was like calf obsessed and he wanted the implants.
Yeah.
Like, Johnny Drama would hate your calves. They're bigger than most people's heads.
You were talking about, you were getting into nothing's bigger than your head, but you were talking about the cerealness.
It's cereally and it's also really sweet and floral to me. Knowing this was young coming in, kind of brace yourself for, what you may be getting yourself into. But man, this smells not a complaint in the world. Like, I'll sit here and nose this all day and just enjoy it. And not necessarily for like layers of complexity. It's easy to smell and approve of.
If you told us, hey, you're going to have a 2-year-old weeder, we're going to look at you and say, there's no way I'm going to go for a 2-year-old weeder. It's just not something.
It's super light. You and I don't get into color very much just because it's not normally our jam of things that we tend to include. But, it's super light. And if you go to the thought process of wheat doesn't necessarily impart a ton of flavor, it more or less lets the other things that are in the barrel and the barrel do their jobs. The beer, so to speak, has to be good here. The wood is good. I mean, there can't be a ton of it in there at only 2 years, but this is on the right track.
We don't know exactly what the MSRP is, but I think it's more than on the right track. And it's one of those things that I say it all the time. You don't say it as much as I do, but like a lawnmower pour. You're doing yard work in the back. Could be spring, it could be summer, and you could be drinking this and it doesn't feel like you're drinking a super heavy whiskey. You're doing something outside and you could be drinking this and not feel overwhelmed. It's so light, but it has flavor. I really get that cereal part of it.
Yeah, that's where I am, is kind of where I went to between the Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops, a corn grain product that has just malted sugar over the top of it. That's the sequence of flavors that hits you. I guess for its age, even at the 90 proof, it gives you a little bit of singe, but who doesn't want that at the end of the day? Like, you don't want to drink water.
I hardly got any singe, though. I mean, like, I got that it was alcohol. I got a little bit of tingle.
That's where I was. Like, it's just enough to where you're not drinking water,
I will tell you, for being 2 years and you expect to get like that citrusy, youthful note, I don't get that at all. The fruit that's here is not a citrus fruit. Zeke, when you talked about being more specific with our fruits, this is not anything lemon lime that would make you go like, oh yeah, this tastes young. This just tastes light. It doesn't taste young.
This tastes daily drinker to me.
Mm-hmm.
And having met Trey in summer, and again, like I said, we don't know the MSRP, but I really can't imagine that the price point for this is not daily drinker range. When I sat down and shot the shit with Trey for a while, like I said, we talked about needing clear spirits to be active in the game. As John said, they have a couple of moonshine offerings. Folks can laugh at that if they want, but especially for the market they're in, the environment they are in, you have to have those to be competitive. If you don't believe me, go spend a weekend in Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg and see how many shops do sell them and how much they sell them, because you'll be surprised and probably want to buy stock in it. I have no doubts that this should fall right in line with a daily drinker on the bar. Somebody says, hey, what's that? I've never heard of it, never seen the label. You pour it for them, and then you pour it. The next morning you wake up and the bottle's empty. What did you get out of the bourbon there, buds?
Oh, I talked about it. I mean, I've been talking about it the whole time. Cereal. Just like you. I mean, this is one of the ones where you and I are very much in agreement. I think we both are fans. I think we both think it's a good daily drinker. And I think we're both ready to move to the rye. So what did you get on the rye there, Coachies?
I'm punting to you first.
So it's a 95.5. It's a 3-year-old. For people that are wondering, 95.5 screams MGP, although Bardstown Bourbon Company is now doing a 95.5. This says it's distilled in Indiana and produced and bottled by Junction 35 and Pigeon Forge. So this is an MGP rye. It's a 3-year MGP rye. It's very piney, and, you know, I think there's people that love that 95.5. I don't know if I'm always on the 95.5 train now that other things have come out like Knob Creek and Cornerstone and Pinhook and Old Elk's Rye. And there's just some things there that I don't always love 95.5.
The tougher part to that is just simply, we always like to have stereotypes. 95.5 is no longer stereotypical. I mean, so many people are buying it. So many different labels are putting it out. But, you know, ultimately, the profiles of it, I won't say it's not consistent, because there are consistencies, but there's also consistent variances that really range across the board. I think it's the better way to word it.
If I'm going to get a piney rye, 9 times out of 10, the most pine I get out of a rye is out of a 95.5. When you have those other ryes that might have a little bit more corn, or
this is, you know, really heavy mint, astringency, very wintergreen, I would say. However you get your wintergreen, but this is the note that definitely comes off of it to me.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, 95.5 is all over. The only thing I was going to include that I thought you missed was, Willett's low rye. That's some good juice.
I do like that low rye. And I just like saying low rye. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I'm like, I just think that there's a lot of room. There's so many people that have this 95.5. And yes, it varies, but there's still a profile I get from it. It's not anything against Junction 35. It's just, I think I'm kind of over 95.5 for a little bit. I need to take a step back from it. I need to take a break. And if we were meant to be, if I revisit it and we decide that we like each other again, then, you know, maybe we'll start dating again. But right now, I'm just not into that 95.5.
That's essentially where I would put it as well. I applaud them for including a rye in the portfolio. I think they did it the right way for a small distillery versus trying to clean all the equipment, do a rye mash, etc. Like, yeah, just buy some effing MGP. Everybody else does it. Like, why not? But at the same time, I think I would flip the script and simply say, for a 2-year bourbon, this product that they made and is their own, shit, man, I'm on board 110%. Meeting, you know, Trey and Summer, super nice people. That always resonates well. This is good juice, man. Like, I would not have expected their 2-year juice to be this good.
And I think it's fine. I mean, you don't have to love every single thing that a distillery puts out. That's why they have different SKUs so that you can find what you really like and what you don't. I think that bourbon was really just a super big surprise that I liked it as much as I did. The rye, it's a very serviceable rye. I'm not knocking it. It's not awful. I think I just need a break from that MGP rye.
No, it'll do good in cocktails. They got a huge bar. They got to have variety to serve people. You can't judge somebody on bulk product, so to speak.
Now, Trey and Summer, thank you for sending this our way. Admittedly, you did send this to us. I will say that I can't wait until all of this quarantining is over so that Zeke and I can get out to East Tennessee and go sit down with you and actually talk in person. So we'll just wait for that. Want to let you know that all of our glassware was provided by distilleryproducts.com. Check them out. Janie, Carson, Vicky, all the good folks over there. They have wholesale pricing on your laser etch glassware needs, whether it's Glens, Wee Glens, rocks, decanters, flasks, tipsy rocks, whatever it is, they have it. Check them out, distilleryproducts.com. Send me a message. I will get you in touch with them. If you are a distillery, you're a restaurant, you're a bourbon group, and you want to get some awesome wholesale pricing on glasses, check out our friends at distilleryproducts.com. Check out Junction 35 Spirits. check them out by going to junction35spirits.com. Trey and Summer are great people, and they're doing great things out in East Tennessee. When you're in Pigeon Forge, make sure to go see them. You can find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. You can find us wherever you download your podcast. Leave us an open and honest review like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Music City, USA. It's still standing strong.
Cheers.
Ciao.